Good afternoon, I bid to all judges, teachers, and my fellow SAEYLS delegates. My name is Elizabeth Andrea, and I am a member of the competition segment. It is my pleasure to welcome all of you here this evening to our very first competition of the summit, which is the cosplay competition. I'm sure all of you are excited to witness the wonderful designs that will be presented to us later on. Before that, we would like to invite Tuan Haji Izmi bin Ismail, the head officer from Selangor Education Department, for an opening speech. I will now hand over the ceremony to Tuan Haji Izmi bin Ismail.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. A very good afternoon to everyone present in this online meet today. Firstly, I would like to say congratulations to the committee members of the Sri Aman Environmental and English Youth Leadership Summit. Your effort have definitely paid off as this event turned out to be a massive success, and I'm truly impressed with the effort that were made. I was to understand that this event is usually done annually since 2012, and participants would have to travel to Malaysia to participate in this summit. However, due to the COVID-19 outbreak, the summit this year is an online edition to accommodate to a current pandemic. I'm also happy to know with us today there are participants from various countries, including Taiwan, Philippines, Indonesia, Japan, as well as a few participants from our very own country. I have to say that I'm very pleased that the crowd present here today, and it's an honor to be a part of this event. I'm very sure that the participants attending this program will definitely benefit in many ways, and it's good to know that there are individuals who are willing to come together to use this platform as a medium to discuss about some of the most important issues that the youth is currently facing, such as issues regarding the environment as well as the current issues in this world today, and not forgetting several competitions that showcase the creativity of the youth. I'm truly impressed with the participants as well as the committee, and I'm sure that the participants joining the summit will definitely be potential leaders in the future. I was informed that there is a competition shortly after this, and I wish all the participants the best of luck, and I'm confident that every participant present here today will definitely bring nothing but the best to the table. With that, I hereby officiate the Sri Aman Environmental and English Youth Leadership Summit 2020 online edition. Thank you.
Thank you for the wonderful speech, Tuan Haji Izmi bin Ismail. It was truly inspiring. Without further ado, allow me to introduce our distinguished judges for today's competition. First up, I would like to introduce Dr. Su Winchi, who is a singer, actress, beauty queen, and an entrepreneur from Malaysia. She was crowned Miss World Malaysia 2008 and represented Malaysia in the Miss World 2008 beauty pageant. Dr. Su, would you like to say something?
Thank you so much. It's my honor to being invited into this competition, and big congratulations to all the participants, and it's my honor. I hope to see a lot of great talents, and I think it's a very good platform to nurture new talent, especially in this critical era and stuff. But I believe that you guys are, very smart and very intelligent. So I'm excited for the whole competition. So great to meet you all, and I'm honored. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Su. Next, we have Juwita Jalil, who happens to be the Vice President of Education and Training of the Malaysian Official Designers Association and has had countless judging assignments for numerous talent shows. Ms. Juwita, would you like to say hi?
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, Ms. Juwita.
Okay, sorry, I don't have my video on because I didn't realize that we were supposed to reveal ourselves. I don't have my head covered, so I hope you all understand. I'll try and do it later and come up on screen. Thank you very, very much for having us, or having me. This is very, very exciting, especially when looking at your competition rubric. I see that everybody is expected to use recycled materials, obviously for the environment, and I think it is an excellent idea, and it's and I look forward to see how their creative minds work to come up with fashion and style using recycled material. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Juwita. Last but definitely not least, we would like to introduce Nidhi Desadure, who is the President of the Environmental Protection Society of Malaysia. Mr. Nidhi, would you like to say something?
Yes, certainly. First of all, I'd like to congratulate the SAEYLS organizing team for the whole range of activities you've been doing, including this fashion competition. And we were just commenting that it's at a very high standard and a very high professional level. So, tremendous effort. Also, like to commend all those who have decided to take part in the competition. And I can't wait to see all your efforts. And again, the theme of the competition of using recycled materials currently is very visionary, it's forward-thinking, and it's the way to go. And, in many ways, you may be contributing towards a greater trend in the future, whereby, we make very high-end clothing from recycled materials. So it's very good all-round and tremendous effort to everyone involved in this. I must say, I feel a little nervous being part of the judging panel. As fashion is definitely, reviewing fashion is not in my comfort zone. Nevertheless, I'll try my best. It's a real privilege and honor to be here with you. So I look forward to seeing what's on offer. And well done to everyone involved, including all those who have tuned in and who are watching. Tremendous effort. I'm delighted to be here with you.
Thank you, Mr. Nidhi. For our supporters' information, the theme of the cosplay competition is superheroes. Our participants will be screen sharing the runway video. After that, they will be presenting the process of making their eco-cosplay costumes. Now that we've acknowledged that, let's begin with the competition. Let us begin with the first participant competing today, Lance Soriano Rimando. Let's give him a round of applause.
A pleasant day, everyone. I am Lance Soriano Rimando, and I am very honored to present to you the design of Apolaki. First, please allow me to present to you my runway video. From out of the ashes and waves of human folly, rise a new superhero. Forged in the dark and dreary experiences of irresponsible consumerism, avarice, and greed, syncretized with the wisdom of the ages, humanity has finally birthed a child of the galaxy. From the womb of the paradox of humanity, the hero and the tyrant, the creator and destroyer, stupid and wise, healer and desecrator, a new hope arises. Together with the power to desecrate the land lies the power to bring back the land to its pristine state of beauty and grace. Creation is now vindicated.
And that was my runway video. Thank you, everyone. Now allow me to present to you the costume making process. I will now screen share my presentation. What I'm going to tell you now is a story that has been passed on from generations to generations in our province. It's the story of the sun god, the patron of the warriors, who is later on the hero of the Pangasinenses. When I was thinking of my inspiration for this costume, I thought of myself, my identity, and part of that identity was my culture, which is why I'm more than proud to present to you Apolaki. We created several pieces of garment in order to present Apolaki, featuring products that are strictly our own. First off, for my headgear, we created it out of cardboard, and our first product, oysters. We cut the cardboard and decorated them with oyster shells. Next one is my top armor, and third one is my bottom armor, both of which are created from old rice sacks which we sewed, and oyster shells which we decorated. For the fourth one, we have my accessory. It is also made of cardboard decorated with oyster shells. And for my footwear, we recycled an old slipper, lined it with cardboard, and then decorated it again with oyster shells. Last but not the least, we have our third product, which is coconut. We actually used the husk to create the orb, and then later on decorated it with utensils and oyster shells. Now you might want to ask, what is the goal of my superhero? It's simple. It's the pursuit of sustainable development goals. Philippines as an archipelago has a problem in waste disposal, especially because the waste gets transported to our seas, which is where most of our fisher folks get their money and income. That is part of clean water and sanitation and industry. Moreover, we would want to promote sustainable cities and communities. We want them to practice responsible consumption and production. A lot of us are aware of waste such as carton or plastic utensils, but we're not very aware that there are also waste coming from our food, or what we call food waste. That is why I use products such as rice sacks, oysters, oyster shells, coconut husks. That is to tell you that we have things to create out of these things instead of just throwing them away after we eat them. Last but not least, life below water. I think if we want to preserve the story of Apolaki, we should also preserve the life that is connected with it. Not only because it is part of a story, but because it is also part of our lives. This brings me to my 4 R's, which I'd like to present to you. The first R is recognition. We need to recognize the problem for us to create a solution that creates action. Next one is relevance. I think it is high time for us to realize that our fisher folks and farmers, especially during this time of pandemic, don't get much income. And yet, environmental degradation persists. It is relevant right now because we need to show them that we represent them. A hero shouldn't be only focused on himself. He should also represent the place he's protecting, the people that he's protecting. Last but not least, it's for the restoration, not only of my culture, which a lot of children seem to have forgotten, but also of the environment, and most importantly, the restoration of awareness to everyone. I hope you have learned something from my story, not only about myself, but also about my people, my culture, and our environment. In the Philippines, we say salamat, or in English, thank you.
Thank you so much, Lance. That was an amazing presentation to kickstart our competition. Now, I would like to pass the floor to the judges to start their Q&A session. Judges?
I can start.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would like to ask, amazing presentation, I would say, and I'm blown away with your creativity of using the oyster and stuff. But I would like to ask why did you use the fork and spoon, like the plastic fork and spoon, which is very dreadful for the environment. So that's one of my questions I would like to ask.
It's part of the overall concept. Thank you for the wonderful question, by the way. I was focusing on food waste, right? And part of the things we use when we eat food are plastic utensils, like plastic spoons and plastic forks. I want to tell everyone that, oh, you should just throw away these plastic utensils. Instead, you can create something out of them, and you can actually create it with the food that you actually ate. That's all. Thank you.
Hi Lance, how long did you take to create your costume again?
It took us about 2 weeks, ma'am.
And what exactly were the materials that you used to put them together?
As I have said in my presentation, ma'am,
Yes, again.
Products. First one is oyster shells, ma'am.
No, not that. I mean, how do you sew them? Is it totally glued on or what? How did you assemble? Okay, sorry for the choice of wrong words. How did you assemble it?
So, ma'am, we started to imagine a silhouette, ma'am. From that, we used old rice sacks, ma'am, that are already unused and about to be thrown away. We sewed them together, and then later on, we lined some of them with carton to create the sleeves, to create other parts of the outfit, and then we glued the oyster shells on there.
Okay, so basically it's sewing and gluing them together.
Yes, ma'am.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
I'll just have a quick question to you, and that is, was anything you used to create your costume not come from reused or recycled material?
I think the only thing that you can count as not recycled here is the glue that we use to paste them together. Other than that, it's 100% recycled. We got them from different ways that are about to be thrown away. We tried to restore them and create something beautiful out of it. Thank you.
Is that all, judges?
That's it from me.
Yes, I'm good. I'm good. Thank you very much.
Same.
Thank you. It is my
Okay,
honor.
thank you. Okay, thank you to the judges and Lance. Next, I would like to call upon our second participant, which is Choo Chuan Yin.
Okay. Hello, judges and other participants. I'm Choo Chuan Yin. Please allow me to screen share my runway video. Now please allow me to screen share my presentation slides. The name of my costume is Power of Ocean. So you can see the picture on the left. First, I will talk about the superpower the costume provides. The superpower is save marine creatures trapped by fishnet and fishing lines, pick up the plastic bags and bottles to protect marine creatures and clean the ocean. And based on this thought, I will explain every part of my design. For the top, it will be the combination of defense and offense. First, we have the shoulder armor on the shirt. This is used to protect the environment hero as defense. Second, you can see my hands are blue bracelets, which are used as a weapon. These are frozen bracelets. The frozen bracelets are made of plastic bottles. The function is freeze things and cool down the temperature to save marine life. Third, the pattern on the top. The melting earth is a symbol of global warming. The temperature is getting higher and higher day by day. I think people should take this seriously. So on the costume, the hero needs to express the seriousness of global warming by having this pattern on top. And now let's move on to the bottom. As the bottom, you can see the ocean skirt, and I made the skirt in different color to show the diverse color of ocean. The little circles on the skirt are made of abandoned fish line to symbolize the hero will pick up the abandoned item from the ocean to keep it hidden. The skirt is made by different colors of papers and plastic bags. And at the back of my skirt, I attach abandoned plastic bags on it. And it stands for the plastic bags that the hero collects from the ocean. So from this costume, I would like to convey the urgency of protecting ocean, not littering garbage into ocean, but the seriousness of rising temperature. And now, I will specify the materials I used. The materials are simple but exquisite. I use paper, abandoned garbage bags, plastic bottles, and abandoned fish line to express my idea of environment protect hero. And this is all about my design. Thank you.
Thank you, Choo Chuan Yin. You were brilliant. I will now pass the floor to the judges to start their Q&A session.
All right, I will start. Chuan Yin, I'd like to ask for your topper part, why did you choose to use the paper? Was there any other option, like other than the paper material for your project? Like, was it your first choice, or can you demonstrate like why use paper than other, like, there's a lot of other ingredients and stuff you can get from them, recycling environment and stuff, but why did you choose paper instead for the upper top part?
Because I get all the materials from my school, and I want to use recycle things, and all I got is paper and plastic bags. Yeah.
Okay, and is the paper recycled paper or is just a normal paper for the topper ones?
Recycled.
That's recycled paper. Okay, thank you.
So you actually asked the question that I wanted to ask, so thank you very much.
So, Chuan Yin, I'm very glad that you chose the theme of oceans, and pollution in the oceans for your superhero role, because we all know that's a very hot topic at present. So, just like to say well done on that. And again, I'll ask my earlier question that I know all the materials that you used to make your costume, and were there any elements like any elements beyond that which you used which were not recycled or which were like maybe or glue or other things? How did you put them all together? Whether there were any non-reused or recycled materials which were used?
Glue. I use glue and mostly glue.
Yep, I'm good.
All good.
Thank you.
Thank you to the judges and Choo Chuan Yin. Next, let us welcome Sarah Abdullah Dianawati Hinia.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sarah Abdullah Dianawati Hinia. I am from SMA 10 Negeri 10 Samarinda, East Kalimantan, Indonesia. Please allow me to screen share my runway video. Now I start my presentation. So, my superhero name is Mantike. Mantike, which means a legend of the Dayak tribe, has the meaning of the flexible iron, can describe the strength and flexibility that become one. I am born into the world because of a gift from God. This is costume inspired by a unique animal of East Kalimantan named anggang, or well known as a hornbill. It's one of the endangered animals in Indonesia. Dayak people honor and believe on hornbill as a holy animal. It is also believed as a bird commander and the symbol of the greatness and glory of the Dayak people. Therefore, here my description. I proudly present you about Mantike's superpower. First, wings, echo. The meaning of echoes is high authority and charisma. Her thick wings are a symbol of mighty leader. As symbol, a mighty leader who can protect her people. This wing is also protect the East Kalimantan forest from criminal who want to destroy the forest. When echo flaps her wings, it will produce a resonative sound as a anggang voice. Next is mandau. Mandau is traditional weapon of the Dayak. Mandau is her weapon to fight against criminals who want to destroy forests of East Kalimantan. This mandau is also protection and willful for the community. The mandau has a symbol brotherhood and as a symbol the night maturity and responsibility. Next, with the part of costume. First is feather crown. This crown was made by the ancestor as a prosperity and symbol of honor of the Dayak people. In brief explanation why they call it crown, because of showing bravery and persistent character. The crown has a symbol of peace and unity. Next, mawine. Mawine means from the beauty of the Dayak woman. This dress is inspired by traditional black and gold Dayak tribe as a symbol glory. Its color of the dress being white, defined as holy god, red, defined as the Dayak spirit of life, blue, defined as the never-ending source of strength from all directions, and the last, yellow, defined as miracle and majesty. The material consists of newspaper for mawine and ekot, cardboard board for the feather crown, and the last cardboard for the mandau. The eco-mentos I support sustainable fashion if often concerned with the environmental impact of thin fibers and material that are organic, recycled or repurposed, limiting harmful chemical or dyes, reducing energy or water usage and waste, and overall choosing low impact opting wherever possible. And last, we can make clothes or anything unused item in order to reduce of the unorganic waste and recycle it into items that can become useful. And the last, this is a documentation for the process. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. That was a very interesting presentation. Next, the judges like to say something?
My very obvious question to you is, Sarah, the paper and the cardboard and everything is, I think the newspapers are recycled, but also the cardboards and everything else is all recycled, or what you can get in your school art room?
It's a recycle. I get the room.
Okay, all right, thank you.
And my question is, I can see like we use quite limited choices in terms of like your ingredients and stuff. Like for the feather and especially the your crown thing and stuff, like I can see like similar ingredients towards your upper part and especially your top part. I mean the low part is I understand it's all newspapers and stuff. So did you consider like using other materials as well, like when you were doing and stuff, like maybe like to differentiate your top and your upper helmet?
No.
No? Oh, so your first choice was like, using paper for
Yeah.
the upper body.
Paper recycled.
Okay, thank you.
And then, I just wanted to clarify. You said one of your raw materials was carbon. What exactly? You said carbon, right? What did you mean?
Yes.
You said one of your raw materials was carbon.
Yeah. Carbon.
I'm not. What is? I'm not sure what that means. You said cardboard.
Carbon.
Carbon, is it? Carbon. Okay. Anyway, I'll note that.
Okay. Anything else from the judges?
No, I'm good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you to the judges and Sarah. Once again, a gentle reminder to the judges, please switch on your mic and camera during the Q&A session only. And to the participants, please switch on your camera and mic when it is your turn to present. Thank you. Now, please welcome the fourth participant, Shoma Yanagi.
Hello everyone, my name is Shoma Yanagi. Now please allow me to screen share for my runway video. Now I will start my presentation. So hello everyone once again. I am Shoma Yanagi from Nika Angela High School in Japan. For the next 5 minutes, I would like to talk about my costume that I created for this competition. First of all, I will tell you the brief introduction of my costume. In order to tell it to you, let me talk about my kind of background. Last year, I went to Canada and stayed there for about 10 months. I lived with my family and went to school there as well. From those experiences, I learned that Japan has a lot of cultures and traditions that most of other countries do not have. Therefore, I realized that it is important for us not only to interact with other countries, but also to understand the unique features in your own place in order to create a better world in the future. According to those reasons, I thought I should apply some sort of famous Japanese culture, such as old stories and newspapers, in my costume. Therefore, I decided to use Momotaro as the theme of my costume. Momotaro is one of the most famous heroes in Japanese legend. They travel to the island. Let me explain the story a little bit. Once upon a time, Momotaro met and befriended with a dog, monkey, and peasant. They travel to the island to beat the devil who always tried to destroy the society. Momotaro saved the world by his courageous action. I was inspired by this Momotaro because of these reasons. I thought using Japanese hero in my costume would promote the awareness of protecting the earth. Also, in the story of Momotaro, Momotaro cooperated with the animals. From this story, I hope more people to become aware of the responsibility to try hard for the sustainable world. Next, I will explain the process of how I made the costume. I used mainly 4 materials in order to make it. I used Japanese newspapers to make the shirt and pants. I used some cardboard for the sword that Momotaro used to beat devil. I also used the red Japanese national traditional paper to make the cape. And lastly, I used some tapes to make those materials stronger. There are mainly 4 processes of making of the costume. What I struggled with the most was these papers were not enough strong for me to wear them, so I needed to make those much stronger so that they would not torn easily. Before finishing my presentation, I'd like to talk about the eco method that I used and there are some benefits. Japanese traditional paper contains outstanding skills and deep history. It was so meaningful for old people to invent the skills to make papers, and they passed down until these days. However, those skills are being lost now. In order to achieve the sustainable world, it is significant for us to understand the importance of culture and tradition in small places and keep in mind for them for the better world. Thank you for listening.
Shoma, you were sensational. Allow me to pass the floor to the judges so that they can start the Q&A session.
I'd like to ask, you were mentioning you jive every pieces together with a tape. May I know what type of tape? Is it cellophane tape or like the paper tape? And what type of tape did you use to patch up everything?
It's some sort of paper tapes so that it's not only papers that I used for like newspapers, but those old tapes are also recycled. So that I thought it would be the best idea to make those newspapers, that kind of stuff, to make them strong.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
I'll just follow up with a question on your Japanese traditional paper. Can you just let me know how the paper is actually made, or tell us a little bit more about the Japanese traditional paper, which is one of the ingredients for your costume.
Yeah. Okay. So it's a unique Japanese paper that all Japanese people invented. Those papers, they are all made by hands, and usually they're stronger than papers that we use now. And yeah, they all made by human hands, and it takes a long time to make them, and it's having those papers was important because they had to have something to write with, right? So that's my history, and it's using those Japanese traditional paper in my costume would be the best way so that I can say it's important to keep the history or the culture in my own town so that we can create a better world in the future. That's it.
Hi, Shoma.
Hello?
Hi. I just wanted to know the Japanese paper that you use, right? The traditional
Yeah.
paper. So it is reusable, is it? I mean, like, say for example, if you use it to wrap a present or whatever, do Japanese people actually keep reusing it? And do you know how long it can be reused or how many times it can be reused?
Well, it depends on like how they use this, because if you like, if you don't use them, like, well, it will, like, it's just papers. It's even it's stronger than papers that we use now. It's still like,
It's the
you know,
paper.
it's just paper.
Yeah.
Right? So, but it's stronger, and they are all made by hand. So we can. It's more flexible. Like colors, I use red for my month, but it's more flexible for like sizes and colors, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
So the red one that you used for your costume, would you know how many times it has been used already?
Well, I asked my friends to bring them, and one friend got the Japanese traditional paper, the red one that I used, and brought me, and it was like, it looked old, and like, it has been already used by somebody, so yeah.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your question.
Is that all from the judges?
Yep, all good.
All good.
Okay. Thank you to the judges and Shoma. To all the participants, please adjust the camera to a position where we can see your upper body, yeah? Please welcome the next participant, Amira Binti Alizan.
Hi, I'm Amira. Allow me to present my video from Google Drive and my slide from Canva. So that is my runway video, and allow me to present my...
I'm sorry, Amira. Excuse me, Amira.
Yes.
I'm sorry. But it looks like you're having some technical difficulties, so we can't actually see your video.
Oh,
Yeah. I don't think it's screen shared. Can you try screen sharing?
sure.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's alright.
Can you guys see my slide, my video right now?
Yeah, we can. Thank you.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
There's no sound to the video.
I'm sorry, Amira. Amira?
Yes. Can you
Amira,
guys see
are
my
you
slide?
sharing?
Yeah, right now I'm presenting.
Okay, are you sharing from a window or a Chrome tab?
Can you guys see now? Can you guys see my slide right now?
Yes, we can.
Okay. I'm sorry for the inconvenience. Sorry.
It's all right. Amira?
Yes?
I'm sorry, Amira, to interrupt, but is it okay if the tech support shares your video?
Sure.
Yeah, because we can't hear the audio. Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Tech support team will please read the video. Thank you. Amira?
Yes?
Please stop presenting, Amira. The tech support team will present it for you.
Amira Alizan.
We would like to
Welcome Amira Alizan, who represents Tunku Kursia College to the runway. As inspiring sea savior, she will display a recycled clothes. Implementing her creative skills in decorating a masterpiece crown, a magical coral, and a powerful scepter using plastic bottles. An exclusive top was knitted diligently and a fabulous skirt was made from plastic bags and bottle cover.
Sorry for all the technical difficulty just now. Allow me to share my slide. Can all of you guys see my slide right now?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
So hi, I'm Amira Alizan. My presentation title is called Sea Savior. So what are my power? My power is my crown. Give me an authority to communicate with the sea creature, which are asking for some help. And second is the coral allow me to breathe in the sea. I'm water breathing. And the third is the scepter as a symbol of power help me to absorb plastic bag, bottles and toxic from the sea. So next is how to make costume from plastic. Firstly, I need to collect few plastic bottles and different colors of plastic bags such as green, red and blue plastic bag. Other items that are needed to make this costume were a crochet, hot glue gun, scissors, stapler, sellotape and also spray paint. So firstly, for the top, I need to cut the plastic bag into smaller pieces. Next, all the smaller pieces will be stretched together to become a thread. Besides the video, this is an example of a thread that I made. Next, after I make the thread, I knitted the plastic thread using a crochet. This is the results of the top. Next is how to make fabulous skirt. So firstly, I use hard book cover as a base. Second, I cut the plastic bag into two to make it into a mini skirt using scissors, and I use stapler to make the mini skirt more ruffled. Next, I paste the mini skirt onto the book cover using sellotape. And lastly, for the upper part of the skirt, I make a belt using the bottle cover and paste it to the base, which is the hard book cover. This is the results of my skirt. Next is how to make trousers. Firstly, I cut the plastic bag accurately using my measurement. Second, I used hot glue gun to join the pieces together. And last, I made some design to make it more attractive. Next, for the detail, firstly, I use the remaining thread of plastic bag and make a braided so it will not be wasted. And next, I use plastic bottle to make scale. I draw the shape of scale at the plastic bottle and cut it using scissors to make it more realistic, like a scale. I color it with spray paint. I'm sorry. Next, for the coral, I use plastic bottle. I cut it into two and make the shape of the coral and paste it using the sellotape. And next, for the necklace, I use paper clip and cap of plastic bottle. I join it together and color it using spray paint. Lastly, not to forget, I have a crown and scepter that were made by plastic bottle. Allow me to share a short clip, please. So every day after sunrise, I will go to the beach. I will wear my crown and bring along my coral and fishes scepter. Once I enter the sea, then I will jump into it to start my duty as a sea savior. I use my scepter to absorb all the plastic bags and bottles. If I heard the fish call for help, I will quickly offer my assistance to absorb all the toxic. My role is to protect the sea creature from extinction. At the end of the day, during sunset, I will go home. I feel very satisfied that I have helped to clean the sea and also keep all the sea. Next, for the problem and struggle that I face during I make all this costume. So the first problem is choosing the right material for my design. So my solution is I experiment on the effect of each materials inside the water, like as an example, waterproof, floating ability, and more. And my second problem is making plastic as a base to replace fabric. It is kind of difficult to combine all the pieces together. So what is my solution is it cannot be stitched like fabric, like clothes that we use. So I had to cut all the plastic into pieces, like I just did just now from the slide I just presented just now, and make it into a plastic rope and also a thread, and then I combine all the pieces together just like a rope, and I knit it well using crochet. So that's all from me. Thank you.
I have to say, Amira, your design was amazing. I will now pass the floor to the judges to start the Q&A session.
Amira, I would like to ask why, instead of using stapler, did you think of sewing it instead?
The reason why I sew is not called sew, but it's called crochet, snitches. I'm sorry. Yeah. It is because for me, in my opinion, like I experiment with stuff like that. When I stitch it, it is very comfortable, and even when we stretch it out, it will not be cut it out like that. Even though we use plastic material, so for me, I really like this kind of materials, and also, that's it. It is very comfy also.
Like the one you say, like, you know, the skirt, you use stapler to staple it?
Yeah, for the skirt, so it's that, so it will not be, staple, because it will not be, it is because plastic cannot be stitched, so that's why I'm using stapler. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Amira,
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Hi, Amira.
Hi.
Yeah, it's interesting that you are now the third person out of 5 who's had oceans and marine theme, and it shows how much that issue resonates with the youth of today. So I think that's very important for environmentalists like us to take note of. Just, 2 things. You have your crown, and then you have some on your shoulder as well.
Yes.
What's the significance of that on the shoulder? And also the significance of your red trousers. What
red trousers.
Yeah, and the shoulder.
For the crown, like I just present just now, it give me an authority that I am sea savior. While the coral and also the necklace and also the scepter allow me to water breathe inside the sea, and also give me communicate. And also I can communicate with other creatures like fish, octopus and stuff like that. And also why I make skirt and also trousers, it is because when I went inside the sea, I need to walk, so that's why I'm using trousers. Yeah. But when I came back from the sea and I went back as a human being, I will wear my skirt as a daily basic life. Thank you.
Okay, Amira, two things. Number one, the word is crochet. Okay, the word is crochet. What you did with your top is called crochet.
Okay.
Yeah. I want to know how many of the things on your body was actually recycled from the beach.
I use plastic bottles and plastic bag, the blue color plastic bag from the beach.
So you actually found these materials on the beach?
Yes.
Okay.
I
so
used them.
how many % of the materials that you found on the beach that you use for your costume?
Around 30 to 40%.
And the rest, where did you get it from?
I used from the school. I asked my friend, like example for the plastic bottle, after my friend finished drink, and I asked them before they want to throw into rubbish, and also plastic bag. After we collect all the rubbish, I throw the rubbish away and I collect the plastic bag.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is that all from the judges?
All good.
Yep, all good. Thank you.
Yep, all good.
Okay, thank you, the judges and Amira. Next, I would like to call upon our sixth participant, which is Nika Angela.
Hello, everyone. Can everyone hear me? So, my name is Nika Angela Inaputo, and please allow me to screen share my runway video. Thank you for watching my runway video. And please allow me to share my pre-recorded presentation of my presentation, because currently I have a blackout. My old files are in my old laptop, and I would like to at least give myself the chance to present it in a proper way wherein I'm able to show all the details of my costume that I presented. So please allow me to screen share my presentation.
Hi everyone, my name is Nika Angela and I'm here today to present to you my cosplay. I named it Larave because on the internet, specifically on YouTube, it's my persona whenever I upload songs, and I wanted my costume to be a reflection of myself. So, what I'll be sharing today are the materials that I had used in my costume, my drafts and ideas, and the individual processes for each part of my costume. Let's start with the materials. What I had used are magazines, cardboard, newspapers, scissors, paintbrushes, a palette, tape, strings, staplers, cutters, and some old folders I found sitting on the side. And here are my ideas and drafts. While thinking about my concept of a hero, I looked into the easiest group of heroes I can think of, which was Marvel. But something didn't feel right to me because these Marvel heroes all had something more than what an ordinary human was capable of. But then I looked at Black Widow and Hawkeye and I immediately got inspired. They're two heroes who don't have superhuman abilities, but they're so skilled in their own art of fighting. This inspired me to go for them as my main reference for what kind of hero I wanted. A hero who is an ordinary human like me, but who, because of training and dedication to their art of fighting, managed to be master fighters and weapon wielders. My costume is made of different pieces. For my weapon, I went for this cool looking sword called a hand-forged sword. I love the style of the sword and I just had to use it. Next, I wanted to add some anime references because I really like anime. I found a really cool anime cosplay and I wanted to use the strings, color, and the color of the top to be in it. So, on the right side you can see my first ever draft of my costume. However, I learned that fabrics were not allowed, so as a personal choice, I scrapped my first anime reference and went looking for others that I could work with. While browsing for more references, I came upon another cool looking anime top along the way. And then I remembered the game Assassin's Creed and how cool the clothes were. Especially the hoodie, so I added it. Here's the final draft. And let's just say that I feel quite proud of it. In the process of making my costume, I added more details to fill some empty spaces, like the sun and the 3 stars, which represents my identity as a Filipino. As for the individual processes, let's start with the drape. I used newspapers, black paint, staplers, and masking tape for it. I let the black paint dry and added yellow wings on the back as a nice detail. Also, the Alice for Larave. For the sword, I used cardboard, masking tape, and paint. I cut a cutout of the sword, painted over it, with some personal color changes here and there, until I finally ended up with the final result. And next is the belt, in which I used old folders, cardboard, paint, and staplers. I added scabbards on the belt to hold the swords. And now for the boots. Here you can see that I painted over it with some old spray paint, let it dry, added old folders and painted a blue color and others for its design. I also used yarn for its laces. For the top dress, I made it mainly out of newspaper and layered it with paint. Unfortunately, I was so focused while making this whole costume, I barely managed to get photos of it. But I do have a picture of me wearing it before adding the last few details on the top dress. And now for both the headgear and the mask. I made the headgear while the top dress was being dried on the side, so I wasn't able to take photos of it. But I made it with newspapers, black paint, and masking tape. For the mask, I managed to get pictures of it when I first managed to make it spaced. I used magazines, newspapers, paint, and some masking tape for its mask. For the skirt, I used newspapers, attached it using masking tape, and layered it with a thin coat of white paint. The picture here shows it being dried to the side. Now for the armband and accessories. For the armband, I used 2 empty oil bottles, split up one side for each, and then covered them with black paint. And last but not the least, the other accessories. I used some old folders and got pretty crafty with it. I painted a tree on one of them, while the other contains my doodles. As you can see, my costume is designed around my idea of what a hero is. A hero for me is someone who doesn't have magical abilities, but someone who's ordinary, yet has developed their talents and skills through perseverance and hard work. What we need nowadays are not heroes who need supernatural abilities, but ordinary people who have the discipline and perseverance to develop their talents and skills, so that they can be heroes to others. That's all for my presentation. Have a wonderful afternoon to you all. Thank you.
and thank you for letting me present my presentation.
Thank you so much, Nika. You did an amazing job. I'd like to pass the floor to the judges to start their Q&A session.
Hi, I would like to ask, how long did you spend for the whole costume making this one?
I actually started as early as when I was working, as it was announced to me, because I was so excited. Like, I really wanted to make a cosplay, and you saw that I made a few drafts, and I originally was working on that, but then I ended up learning that I couldn't use fabric, so I had to scrap all that, probably a week of work, and I had to start over again for another 2 weeks, and I was able to finish this in those 2 weeks.
Thank you.
I have no questions.
Just one question. So all the things that you use are literally paper products? Most of them, at least.
Yes, they are mostly paper products. They're actually very dated newspapers from my school, which were delivered to me. I know them that they're very old newspapers because I myself work in the library and I've seen those newspapers. They've been there for probably years, and I'm actually happy that they sent it to me so that I could use it on my costume, which is why I was able to become flexible with what I could make.
Okay, all right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is that all from the judges?
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay,
thank you.
Thank you to the judges and Nika. Please welcome the next participant, Elizabeth Andrea Yusuf.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone is healthy and safe. Please allow me to share my screen to present.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Elizabeth. Can you speak a bit louder?
I'm sorry, can you hear me now?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Once again, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Elizabeth. I'm from Santa Laurencia Senior High School, Indonesia. Please allow me to share my screen to show my runway video. Now, please allow me to once again share my screen for my presentation.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Elizabeth, but can you adjust your camera to a position where we can see your upper body?
Is it better now?
A bit lower? All right, thank you.
Okay, so once again, good afternoon. Today I will be presenting my costume entitled Healer. Before we slide into the technical parts, I would like to talk about my inspiration. There are two things that caught my attention in the process of making this costume. The first is medical staff, and the second one is actually an Indonesian female hero named Raden Ajeng Kartini. She fought for women's rights in seeking education years ago, around the 1800s. There are actually other things that really inspired me along the way. But the two main other things that inspired me is Wolverine and Captain Marvel. Now let's talk about the parts. There are a few parts in this costume: mask, claws, sandals, hood, and capes. It actually took about 90 sheets of plastic or aluminum trash, mainly from food only, which I gathered in around 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and 7 card boxes. There are only actually 3 steps in the making of each and every part of the costume, which is collecting and cleaning the trash, making the pattern, and actually arranging and assembling the each part of the costume itself. These are the main tools that I used to assemble my costume. As you can see, the only things that aren't recyclable in this costume is only the glue gun, since the masking tape is made from paper. First up, let's talk about the headgear. There are 2 masks that I use, which is the eye mask and the N95 inspired mask. I chose both of them to be put as a headgear in my design because I wanted to show some appreciation for us who actually already took their time and wore face masks to go out in public to help prevent the spread of the coronavirus. And I also wanted to use the Wolverine inspired masks in this design because not all heroes are known by the public. I wanted to appreciate them who are heroes, who acted like heroes and help others but aren't known. Of course, we have to talk about the hair. I was mainly inspired by Kartini's hair, which is traditional Japanese hairstyle. But however, I ended up choosing something similar but in a more modern way, which is space buns. For the jumpsuit, or we call as the hazmat suit inspired main piece of clothing, I use actually a lot of pieces of plastic and aluminum trash, which reaches up to 60 sheets, I think. And it probably looks small, but it's actually very big. It's about 160 centimeters long and 170 centimeters in total width, which is from the edge of one arm to the other arm. These are the 3 main steps in arranging the hazmat suit, which is collecting and cleaning, arranging, and sewing. Again, as I mentioned, it used around 60 sheets, which is about 2/3 of the total trash I collected. There are 3 parts that are quite unique from this jumpsuit. The first part is the waistband. I didn't use any waistband like rubber bands to make this waistband. I used a plastic kind of rope which I made from plastic, which I sewed together so it will be secure. And it is inspired from kamban actually, which is like an inner garment of traditional Japanese clothing, which is now known as usually corset in the international language. So it would give like more shape to the costume itself. Next is the handcuffs and the hood, which is inspired by the hazmat suit. The cuffs are made in a similar way. The waistband is made. And the hood is simply attached to each other by sewing and lots of bit of glue gun for security. Last but not least is the neckline. The neckline is mainly inspired by kabaya, another traditional Japanese clothes. And I use plastic bubble wrap to make the ruffles, and it is secured with glue gun. The cape. There are 2 parts of the cape. The first one is the symbolic plus sign, which represents medical thing, which resembles the title itself, healer. And then the second one is the shoulder padding, which is made out of card boxes. Well, maybe the cape itself is not necessary, but I'm sure everyone has heard of the phrase of not all heroes wear capes, and I thought that in this opportunity, I wanted to give them one. Next is the sandals. The sandals really does look like everyday women's summer sandals, but really it is really inspired from the Togotil tribe traditional sandals, which is found in North Maluku province in Indonesia. It is made from 2 layers of milk carton, which is secured together with glue gun, and I also added some shades of glue gun in the sole, so it won't slip around, and it is actually quite comfortable if I have to say so myself. Last but not least is the accessories. I really wanted to make it more edgier, so I decided to add Wolverine inspired claws, and I tried to combine it with acrylic nails that we see every day. So yeah, and that's how it turned out. I started by cutting that shape of pattern in an aluminum foil trash, and then I secured it with double tape so it would fit my fingers. I guess that wraps my presentation. Thank you very much.
That was a very intriguing presentation, Elizabeth. Thank you. I will now pass the floor to the judges to start the Q&A session.
I would like to ask, was it hard to using the food packages? What difficulties did you have when you are, because I see among all you are the one who used the food packages and stuff. Is there any difficulties while patching everything up?
Well, for the headgear itself, it's surprisingly not that difficult. However, it is very difficult when I had to sew all the fabric together, because I wasn't really aware when I was collecting the trash that there are a lot of types of plastics, and they come in different textures. So there are very thin ones and there are very thick ones. So what happens when I sew the thick and thin ones together is it actually becomes really slow, and it's very hard for me to adjust the sewing technical things from the machine.
All right, all good on my side.
I have actually a follow-up question to that. In that, how do you decide? Like, for instance, you said your hazmat suit was made out of plastic and aluminium, and then for the sandals, you went for the milk carton. What is the process in your thinking that if you decided you're going to make a hazmat suit, and you said that the raw materials are going to be plastic and aluminium? For my sandals, it's going to be milk carton. How did you come up with the raw materials for your product? How did you choose the raw materials?
Okay, so I was actually very confused at first, like what trash I use, because there are a lot of types of trash. But for me, I really like eating, so every 3 hours I would go down to the fridge and grab a snack. So I would like to see in this competition, hey, why not gather all of the trash that I could find on a daily basis. So if I were to wake up and I see that there's no soap, I would refill the soap, and I would take the soap packaging. I would take any trash that I could find in my daily activities and compile it. And it happens to be plastic is the most trash that I could find, so I decided to make something out of it.
Hi, Elizabeth. You have claws on, but your superhero is a healer. How does someone with claws heal anyone? I don't see the connection of the claws and being a healer.
I'm sorry, but your voice is not that clear in my laptop.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, quite.
Okay. You have claws on, right? You have claws that is inspired by Wolverine. Now, your character is known as a healer. So having claws, I don't understand the connection between a healer and having claws, because Wolverine does not heal people, he heals himself. And the claws is to literally, for him to fight with other people. So you having claws, how does that connect to you being a healer?
Okay. I guess heroes do still. My character, which is a healer, still does need to fight, but I don't think it's fighting in a physical way. I guess some heroes, like let's talk for example, Raden Ajeng Kartini. She is a hero and she helps heal Indonesia's women's dark past, because now we can seek education. But she also fights for the freedom, and it cost her a lot. Yeah, so it's not necessarily like if you fight, you hurt someone. It's like fighting for what you believe in and helping others through that fight. And it's also, I see the claws as a form of expression and courage. Thank you.
Good, thank you very much. I'm done, thank you.
Okay, is that all from all the judges?
Yep.
All good.
All right. Okay, thank you to all the judges and Elizabeth. Let's give a warm welcome to the following participant, which will be Serena Jasmine Izzati.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Serena Jasmine Izzati Binti Zulkarnain, and I'm from SMK Pastry Aman. Please allow me to screen share my runway video. Now, please allow me to screen share my slides so that I can start my presentation. So today, I'll be presenting about my costume design entitled The Savior of Mother Nature. As we are all aware, the theme for the competition is superheroes. So with that, let's get started. I took inspiration from a character named Garnet from the TV show Steven Universe. I don't watch the show religiously, but the character that stood out the most was Garnet herself. I chose this character because she is a representation of women empowerment. She also has a fierce and competitive spirit, and she also happens to be a leader who protects humanity and the earth from danger amongst a trio. Next, I'll be moving on to the making of the costume. So these are my draft ideas. I was already happy with the first one, but I figured I had to make my costume different from the rest. So from the second idea, I decided to play around with the design again and added a detachable skirt. So when I started on the third design, I still preferred the chest plate idea from the first one, and so I decided to combine the chest plate and the detachable skirt from idea 2. So next, I'll be explaining the materials I used to create my costume. First, I'll be talking about the skirt. I made the skirt out of crepe paper. What I did was I fed a string through the small holes I made on the waistline of the skirt, Then I proceeded to line the waistline with gold crepe paper to make it look neater. As for the petals, it is made out of manila cut that has been folded in slightly, then wrapped in pink, maroon, and gold crepe paper. Then I started a string through the hole that I made on the petals so that I could attach it to the skirt. And the final step to the skirt is I line the inside of the skirt at the bottom with strips of cardboard to give it more of a structure and weight. Moving on, I'll be talking about top, pants, and the hood. So for the hood, I made a template using my own measurements, then cutting it out on crepe paper, both black and maroon, then attaching it all together, then adding the yellow stripes. As for the top and pants, I also made a template out of my own measurements on paper, then cutting it out on black plastic trash bag and attaching it all together with tape. Next, I'll be talking about chest plate that is made out of cardboard. I scored the chest plate vertically to allow it to curve and fit my body a little nicer. Both sides of the chest plate was glued together, then wrapped in maroon crepe paper. I then lined the chest plate with gold crepe paper to make it look neater. To make the chest plate look more fuller, I decided to cut out a diamond shape out of pink crepe paper and then pasting it on. The structure of the chest plate is slightly similar to a corset in a way that you have to tighten the chest plate by tightening the strings on the side. Moving on to the sleeves, I made it out of black plastic trash bag as well, and I took my own measurements for my arm. But however, for the puffs on the shoulders, it is made out of crepe paper, maroon crepe paper, that I had started to make it have a ruffled look. And as for the knee, shoulder, and elbow pads, it is made out of cardboard that I scored vertically to allow it to curve to fit my body better. Next, I'll be talking about the weapons that I have made. For the katana, I made it fully out of cardboard. I then proceeded to wrap the handles with maroon crepe paper and then painting the blade with silver paint that I had lying around. Same goes to the gun that I made. It is also made out of cardboard and then painted black. Now I'm going on to the budget breakdown. I'll be explaining the things I bought and the things I have recycled. The things I bought are white crepe paper, which cost about 2 ringgit, and manila card that cost about 1 ringgit 50, which brings a total of 11 ringgit 50 cents. As for the recycled materials, I used old CDs that I had lying around that were unused, cardboard boxes, and as well as black plastic trash bag that I had in my house. As for the maroon, pink, and gold crepe paper, we had lots of leftovers from making bunga telur for my sister's wedding that just so happened to be on this Saturday. And this is my final product. That is all for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Jasmine. You were splendid. Now, I will pass the floor over to the judges to start the Q&A session.
Hi, Siri. Would like to ask the whole concept and stuff. Was it easy to make the whole costume to patch everything together? How long did it take for you to do everything?
It was a learning process doing the whole costume because I had to improvise quite a lot so that I could use the materials wisely. And the costume took around 2 to 3 weeks to be done with everything.
And also, why did you choose crepe paper? Why didn't you consider other types of maybe recycled papers on your costume?
In my opinion, I feel like crepe paper is easier to use and it's light and is easier to sew as well.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, hi there. Yeah, I had a similar question on the crepe paper, and that's been asked. And also wanted to know where you got your trash bags from. How did you get them? And then my other question is, I like your theme of healing the planet. at the same time also concerned there's a gun in there. So how do you reconcile that difference there?
So as for the plastic bags, I took it from my home that they were unused, so I decided to use it. As for the weapons, it's in a way because I'm inspired by the character, fighting against evil and protect the planet.
Hi, Sarah. I want to know. I may have missed the rules, but I think you're. I don't know. I think you're the only one who actually bought your stuff, some of your things. Are you allowed to do that in the competition organizers? Are they allowed to buy material?
If I'm not mistaken, it is allowed as long as it is recyclable afterwards.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it is allowed.
Okay, and I like the fact that I like the fact that you use stuff from your sister's wedding. I hope you did not compromise on her her deco. Okay, yeah, I had the same question about the crepe paper. You used it quite a lot, but you explained it already. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you to the judges and Jasmine. Last but most definitely not least will be Swiss Lee Benitez Malpong.
Hello everyone, I'm Swiss Lee Benitez Malpong. You can call me Swiss, and please allow me to screen share my video presentation. I hope you can see it now.
A fearless queen. The protector of our nature.
Choking on every breath. Tell you that life's not fair. Well, it's not heaven I'm looking for. I can't take this mess no more. If the water keeps rising high, I won't.
Soaring high above the horizons. She's ready to save the world.
So that was my presentation. Now please allow me to screen share my presentation slides. At this juncture, I will be talking all about my costume and the detailed explanation of it. So Raina Kali. Why Raina Kali? That's the name of my superhero. Raina or Reina is queen in English, while Kali comes from the word kalikasan or nature in English. So combine them all together, it's basically queen nature or queen of nature. And when you're the queen of the nature, you're the protector of the nature. So it's my job to protect our nature. I was actually inspired by our very own Philippine eagle. The Philippine eagle is considered as a national symbol. It became a natural treasure found mainly in our country. That's why it also became a national pride. And it symbolizes strength, bravery, and power. Now, in case you're wondering why I took Philippine eagle as my inspiration, well, it's because of the fact that aside from it's part of our own and part of our culture, it also has the characteristics of what a superhero should be. It should be courageous enough, brave, and powerful enough. So that's it for the superhero and the background, just a little background of my inspiration. So just some of my powers, I can actually control the temperature or make the global temperatures high or low depending on the situation. So for example, we're experiencing drought. So it's my job to bring rain, but also with consequences and limitations. And I want the people to realize about their actions, and through this, the people may be able to understand how their actions can not only affect the surroundings, but could also affect them as well. Because as we all know, the environment and the people are just interconnected. And mind control and manipulation, but in a good way, I want to empower the people and help raise awareness about certain environmental concerns, encourage the people to take the same initiatives. And I believe that as superheroes, we do not only use our supernatural powers, however, we should also use our voice to create significant changes and impact to our environment. So just the eco-friendly methods applied in the costume making, of course, recycling, the process of collecting and converting used materials to make new products, and minimizing amount of waste being produced. So when you're actually reducing, you're also reusing. So this is important because in this way we could be environmentally friendly. So that's it. Now I'll be talking about my costume. Materials used for my costume are plastic spoons, soda caps, used cloth, plastic bottle caps, eggshells, and plastic bags. Now for my dress, this is the overview of it. And actually at the top portion, it's like a V-neck, and it's also a catsuit style to make it look more elegant and fancy, and it really fits me well. And at the right side, we have here a close zoomed-in picture of the eggshells, and the plastic bottle caps and soda cups just attached to it or glued onto it. And at the bottom part, I actually had the idea of putting a slit to make it also look more sophisticated. And that's it for my dress. As for my headgear, it is made up of plastic spoons and crushed or powdered eggshells. I just painted it with gold and red to also brighten up the mood and to release the color of it. So as we have observed from the picture I have put earlier, the Philippine eagle has this like the feather, it's the head, like the forehead, like this. So that's why I also incorporated it and made the headgear similar as to that. That's it. And for my shoes, actually it's an old boots. So to maximize its use, I actually pasted the plastic spoons and plastic bottle cups. This is actually what it looks like at the back, at the side, and then that's it for my shoes. Now let's go to the wings. The wings, we have here the front and back portion. Technically it looks like the same, but the only difference there is the ribbon, like so that I can attach my neck or my shoulder to it, so that it would look like I'm flying. And to add more details into it, I also used plastic bottle caps and soda caps at the center portion of each wing. So in the making, the process, of course, first we have the planning, the blueprint, then the making of the dress. It's just a picture of me actually pasting the caps to my shoes, the headgear, and overall, this is the final look of it. So that's just it for my presentation, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
Hi, Swiss. I just wanted to know, the jumpsuit, did you sew it from scratch, or is it an old jumpsuit that is already ready-made?
It's an old jumpsuit, like it's not used before, so I had the idea to get it from my closet so that I could also maximize the use of it.
Okay, so it is a jumpsuit to begin with. You did not construct the entire jumpsuit by yourself.
Actually, it's like from before. It's my costume before. We actually sewn it So yeah.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Swiss. I love the idea of the eggshell, and it's very creative, that one, and also the amazing video. And also, I would like to ask about your wings. Yeah. That the wing side, when you patch all the ingredients up and stuff, what like what's the what do you call that? Any like difficulties, or how long did you make like the wing?
Well, as for the wing, it took me 2 to 3 days, and the difficulty there is that it's soon, so it's like moving here, then moving here again because it's soon, and then after that, like it has the a space or a gap, so that's why I had the idea of why not just add the plastic bottle caps and soda cups just to add details onto it. So that's how I actually made the wings. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Swiss. I liked your theme of protecting the nature, save the world, and with the superhero being able to control the temperature. How wonderful that would be now in this era of climate change where temperature is going out of control. I'm just wondering how you match your theme with the selection of the materials you used. You know, was there a link between the theme and also the use of plastic spoons? Did you go out and buy them for use on your costume?
No, it's actually from just like any other contestants out there. I actually gathered it from the kitchen because I noticed that there are a lot of plastic spoons. And then as for the eggshells, like before, my mother used to collect these eggshells, and it sort of became like a habit. So when I joined the competition, I thought I could use the eggshells. And also for the plastic bottle caps and soda caps, it's actually from my relatives. They have a store, and they used to have a collection, not really a collection, but they have this many soda caps in their store. So I actually wanted to make use of it. Thank you.
All good.
Thank you.
That was a bewitching presentation, Swiss. Thank you. All the costumes presented today looked absolutely stunning, and I'm really impressed at how amazing these costumes turned out. We are going to take a short break to give time for our honorable judges to calculate the marks. The results will be announced shortly. We will see you guys after the break. Thank you. We will see you again at 5:45. everyone, we're sorry for the delay. We'll be starting at 5:55 here.
Hi everyone. I want to just, I guess, sing a song because we're still waiting. So I like making songs, so I'm going to sing one of my original songs. Putting focus onto me, living life the best way I can. So please don't find me now. Please don't find me now. Trekking roads we used to be, lifting memories that were left by you. So please don't come right now. I can't face you now. Before I never wanted to lose you, and so I tried my best just to keep you around. But I know that I had to lose you to fix me. So I don't wanna be your friend, because it hurts reminding me how we don't have. I'm gonna say goodbye. Don't wanna cry for you anymore. I'm putting it down. That's right. Walls around my broken heart. Wish you'd stop connecting the ties that cut right from the start. When we broke our hearts. Before I never wanted to lose you, and so I tried my best just to keep you around. And I know that I had to lose you to fix me. So I don't wanna be your friend, because it hurts reminding me what we don't have. I'm gonna say goodbye. Don't wanna cry for you anymore. I'm putting it down. That's why. Was a okay, never mind. Excuse me. Yes.
All right. Thank you for the singing just now. All right. Welcome back, everyone. We've now reached the part that has been anticipated by everyone, which is the announcement of the winners. I'll once again hand over the floor to Dr. Su Winchi to do the honors of announcing the winners.
All right, it was a very, very tough and fierce competition. We were arguing in the judge room, and okay, announcing the top three. Okay, the third place goes to Nika. All right, Nika will be the third place. So now, second place, which is our first runner-up, is tough between, especially the first runner and the winner. First runner-up, Amira. Congratulations. And the winner is Lance from Philippines. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I'm very honored. Thank you.
Do the judges have anything else to say?
Can I say one thing to Amira?
Yeah.
Amira?
Yes?
Okay. You were my top winner simply because you were the only one of all the 9 contestants who actually went into the water.
Thank you.
You actually tried out your costume. You went into the water and your costume didn't fall apart. So that was absolutely brilliant. Congratulations for doing that.
Thank
so
you.
now you really can be the queen of the sea. You can actually go into the sea and do what you have to do.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Yeah, I'd just like to say, I mean, it was a very high standard of competition, and it was a privilege to be part of it, and must tell you, quite stressful too.
Yes.
Well done, everyone. You guys did a great job. Well done.
Congratulations.
And well done, SAEYLS.
Yeah.
Thank you. With that, we have come to the end of today's agenda, and I hope all the participants as well as supporters have enjoyed their time during the competition. Congratulations to all the winners. You guys truly deserved it. And to those who did not win, you guys did really well nevertheless, and every single one of you amazed us with your talent, honestly. Be sure to tune in to our next competition that we planned for tomorrow, which will be the poetry recitation. I hope to see you all again tomorrow. Have a great evening. Before that, we would like all the participants to remain in the link. All the participants